the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Science is founded on the insight that the world of appearances tells of hidden things, things which appearances reflect but do not resemble. One such insight is that what seems to be disorder in language hides an underlying order, a wonderful order. This observation is not mine, it comes from the great Millet, who wrote that a language involves a system where everything fits together and has a wonderfully rigorous design. This insight has been the guide and continues to be the guide of the studies pursued here. Gustave Guillaume. Gustave Guillaume (1883–1960) was a French linguist and philologist renowned for originating psychomechanics, a linguistic theory. His work focused on how language functions as a systematic, mental phenomenon, emphasizing the transition from a language's potential to its actualized discourse. He believed that through observing speech, one could discern the preconscious mental systems underlying language. Guillaume's insights explored the psychomechanisms of language, seeking to understand the mental operations that enable speakers to produce words and sentences instantaneously from their linguistic system. His extensive research, including some 60,000 manuscript pages, is preserved at Laval University. Gustave Guillaume was born on December 16, 1883, in Paris, France, where he also passed away in 1960. His formal introduction to linguistics came through the renowned comparative grammarian Antoine Millet, who was a student of Ferdinand de Saussure. This connection grounded Guillaume in the historical and comparative method of linguistic analysis, fostering a mentalist and systemic view of language that would become foundational to his later theories. Gustave Guillaume's intellectual framework was shaped by a confluence of linguistic and philosophical influences, which he rigorously transformed into his unique theory of psychomechanics. His initial linguistic training under Antoine Millet early 1900s, a student of Ferdinand de Saussure, instilled in him a systemic and mentalist view of language, particularly through the comparative historical method. However, Guillaume critically reinterpreted Saussure's posthumous 1916 langue parole dichotomy, viewing the system langue not as a static entity, but as a dynamic, mental potential that continuously generates actual discourse parole. Philosophically, Guillaume's work deeply resonates with Henry Bergson's early 20th century concept of durée-duration. This influence is particularly evident in Guillaume's operative time, the infinitesimal mental duration during which a speaker constructs linguistic forms, mirroring Bergson's emphasis on continuous, lived experience over discrete moments. While not explicitly stated by Guillaume, his focus on the speaker's conscious and preconscious mental operations also aligns broadly with aspects of Edmund Husserl's phenomenology early 20th century, which explores the structures of consciousness and experience. Gustave Guillaume's early intellectual trajectory was marked by a profound departure from the prevailing linguistic paradigms of his time, laying the groundwork for his revolutionary theory of psychomechanics. His doctoral dissertation, Le problème de l'article et sa solution dans la langue française 1919, stands as a testament to his nascent genius and foreshadowed the direction of his lifelong research. While grounded in the comparative historical linguistics of his mentor, Antoine Millet, Guillaume's work on the French article transcended mere descriptive analysis. He wasn't content with simply cataloging the various uses of le, la, un, or de. Instead, he sought to unearth the mental system that enables a speaker to make a precise choice from what appears to be a bewildering array of options. Guillaume posited that the article is not just a syntactic marker but a crucial instrument of thought, reflecting how the human mind conceptualizes and presents a noun. He introduced the idea that the article performs a fundamental mental operation of substance apprehension, essentially, how the mind grasps and frames a nominal idea. This involved distinguishing between different degrees of extension or scope in the noun's representation. For instance, the definite article le suggests a total apprehension of the noun's substance, referring to a concept in its entirety or a specific, identifiable entity. Conversely, the indefinite article un implies a partial apprehension, introducing a notion as one instance among many. He also explored the zero article, the absence of an article, as a distinct mental operation, conveying a sense of unlimited or unquantified substance. This meticulous analysis, stretching over 2 decades, convinced Guillaume that even seemingly small grammatical elements were not arbitrary but were the surface manifestations of deep-seated, systematic mental operations. This initial focus on the mental underpinnings of language, rather than just its observable forms, set him firmly on the path to developing psychomechanics. Building upon the insights gained from his extensive work on the article, Guillaume published Temps et Verbe, Théorie des Aspects, de Modes et de Temps 1929, a book that proved to be a pivotal moment in his career and a classic in linguistic thought. In this work, he tackled the notoriously complex domain of the verb and its intricate relationship with the expression of time. Traditional grammars often describe tense, aspect, and mood as separate categories, leading to fragmented understandings. Guillaume, however, proposed a unified mental system, a psychosystem, that governs all verbal forms. His central innovation was the concept of operative time or time of incidence, which refers to the infinitesimal, preconscious mental duration required for a speaker to construct a verb form. He argued that when a speaker forms a verb, their mind rapidly traverses a scale of time, moving from the verb's abstract potential to its concrete actualization in discourse. This dynamic, mentalistic approach was revolutionary. It demonstrated that verb forms are not simply chosen from a pre-existing list but are actively generated through a series of rapid mental operations. The core realization from Temps et Verbe was that the verb, far from being a simple lexical item, is a highly complex system of systems that the speaker reconstructs anew for each instance of usage. This breakthrough solidified Guillaume's conviction that the fundamental nature of language resides in its mental operation, not merely in its observable sounds or written forms. From this point forward, the trajectory of his entire career was set. He would dedicate himself to extending this psychosystematic analysis to all word types and grammatical categories, believing that understanding these underlying mental mechanisms was the key to unlocking a true science of language. He spent the remainder of his life exploring how words are mentally constructed and how their internal grammatical systems contribute to their precise meaning and function within the broader linguistic framework. The sheer scope of his subsequent work, primarily contained within approximately 60,000 manuscript pages held at the Fonds Gustave Guillaume at Laval University, Quebec, has been meticulously organized and published posthumously in extensive series like Leçons de linguistique de Gustave Guillaume and Essays et Mémoires de Gustave Guillaume. Furthermore, curated collections such as Langage et Science du Langage 1964 and Principes de linguistique théorique 1973 have provided crucial access points to his profound insights, making his complex ideas available to a wider academic audience. Looking forward, Guillaume's mentalist approach to language, with its emphasis on psychosystems and dynamic languaging, can be seen as remarkably prescient of later developments in cognitive linguistics from 1970s onwards, particularly in theories of construal Langacker, 1980s, and mental spaces Fauconnier, 1980s, which similarly explore how speakers conceptualize and structure meaning. His work, therefore, bridges classical linguistic thought with modern cognitive science, offering enduring insights into the fundamental mental architecture of human language. Foundations for a Science of Language 1984, this book is crucial because it was the first comprehensive collection of Guillaume's thoughts translated into English. As the previous answer mentioned, Guillaume himself published relatively little in book form during his lifetime. His ideas were primarily developed and disseminated through his lectures and extensive manuscript notes. Foundations for a Science of Language acts as an anthology, presenting carefully selected excerpts from these manuscripts and lectures, making his complex theoretical framework accessible to an English-speaking audience. It includes texts drawn mainly from his manuscript notes for lectures at the École pratique de hautes études in Paris, chosen for their accessibility to those new to his work. At the heart of Guillaume's psychomechanics lies a reinterpretation of Saussure's langue language system and parole actual speech. For Guillaume, langue is not a static inventory of signs but a dynamic, mentally operative system that continuously generates parole. Key to this is the concept of operative time, the infinitesimal duration within the mind during which linguistic forms are constructed. This mental operation, often referred to as incidence, allows a speaker to move from the abstract signified a puissance the potential meaning of a linguistic unit within the system to its concrete signified effort its realized meaning in a specific utterance. For instance, in verbs, this operative time enables chronogenesis, the mental generation of time, aspect, and mood, creating a unique chronological image for each verbal expression. Similarly, for nouns, topogenesis describes the mental processes that position and define nominal concepts in space and reference. This dynamic relationship between potential and effect, system and discourse, and the mental operations that bridge them, forms the very core of his psycholinguistics, revealing language as a continuous act of languaging. Guillaume's profound mentalist approach, while groundbreaking, also placed him somewhat outside the mainstream structuralist linguistics dominant during his time, particularly those who favored a more empirical or behaviorist perspective. While some contemporaries found his highly abstract and introspective methodology challenging, his work has garnered significant influence, fostering a dedicated Guillaumean school with prominent scholars like Roch Valin, Walter Hurdle, and John Hewson, who have expanded and applied his theories. His emphasis on the generative nature of language and the underlying mental systems bears interesting parallels with later developments in cognitive linguistics and even aspects of Noam Chomsky's generative grammar, though their theoretical trajectories and terminologies differ significantly. Guillaume's insights are increasingly seen as prescient, aligning with modern cognitive sciences' focus on the brain's role in language processing. His work also draws philosophical parallels, particularly with Henry Bergson's concept of duration, which likely influenced Guillaume's notion of operative time, and touches upon phenomenological ideas regarding consciousness and meaning. Gustave Guillaume passed away on February 3, 1960, in his birthplace of Paris, France, at the age of 76. Until his death, he continued to teach and develop his theory of psychomechanics, leaving behind a monumental legacy of unpublished lecture notes and research. His passing marked the end of a prolific intellectual life dedicated to understanding the intricate mental operations underlying language. However, his work has continued to be published and studied extensively by a dedicated school of linguists, ensuring the ongoing influence of his pioneering insights. Peter J. Enns. A Guillaumean contribution to a linguistic analysis of the modal will in contemporary English. Abstract. In the literature on the modal will in contemporary English, many excellent observations have been made concerning various aspects of the meaning and behavior of this verb. However, upon closer examination, this work does not provide a strictly linguistic analysis of the word will itself, focusing instead on parameton of usage closely related to will or on an account of usage in terms of a descriptive mode one borrowed from areas outside of language such as logic and psychology. This thesis, which seeks to contribute to addressing this problem, has a twofold goal: to establish what contributions to our understanding of will as a word have been made in the literature, and then to show how the application of word-based theory of language, the psychomechanics of language, can build on this work by contributing to a linguistic analysis of will as a word. References: John Hewson, Gustave Guillaume in the Encyclopedia of Language and Linguistics, 2nd edition, ed. by Keith Brown, Volume 5:169, 170 2004. Walter Hurdle, Language in the Mind, McGill Queen's University Press, Montreal, 2007. Further reading. For a brief introduction to Guillaume's theory in English, see the Encyclopedia of Language and Linguistics, and for a more lengthy introduction, see Language in the Mind. He heavily influenced the Welsh academic, Bobby Jones.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No light, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just the beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. And feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Present day.